Illustrations.
Yep. A year ago in March, I went from having 10 shows and 3 events on my calendar to 0 shows and 0 events on my calendar overnight. I got all of the calls and texts and voicemails, almost every single one of them, last March 12th. Everybody saying, can't do shows in a global pandemic. And one of the shows that got canceled was Opera Chapman's production of The Magic Flute. I had been working on it since August. I designed the set, and then I had been working on projection designs. The upstage wall was projected, and we were working on animations. And it was a big, big show, and we were all really excited about it. The design team was incredible. The costumes were gorgeous. The props were gorgeous. Everything was going to be so fun, and then it was gone. So this year, when it became clear to everyone that we weren't going to be able to be back doing shows just yet, I was contacted this month by a few of the directors that I love to work with, one of them being the director from Opera Chapman, and he hired me to do illustrations. So what they're doing is a production where they're doing 17 songs from 16 different operas, and they're filming them on their big, beautiful stage at the Musco Performing Arts Center, but they can only have 1 or 2 people there at a time. So it's all going to be edited together and on the internet, just like everything else. So he asked me to do illustrations for each of the songs to give context so that we could see where we were and who we were dealing with and what the time was and how they were dressed. And so I got to work on these illustrations. Unfortunately, things being what they are in a pandemic, decisions are kind of constantly in flux. And so they didn't actually contact me to do the illustrations until I was left with only a couple of weeks to get all of the illustrations done. So I did some research and got started on all of these illustrations. So this is Samantha and I drawing a scene from Lakme. So these two are picking flowers. They're out by a beautiful stream and they're picking flowers. I believe it's star jasmine, and they're singing about how nice it is, how pretty the day is and everything. And they are just having a nice time outside, hanging out, they're friends. The one who's sitting is actually Lakme, and the other one is her friend or her handmaiden. I'm blanking on which, but yeah, they're having a good time. So why did you pick this one, Sam?
Because I just like it.
Yeah, it's pretty, huh? Every time the screen goes darker, like when there's black in the screen, I can see your cute little face. When it's the light, you can't see it as well. But if you zoom in on a dark patch, or if it's over to the side, then I can see the reflection of your face in the screen. So yeah, the director requested that all of the drawings be done in a Victorian style for the ones that I'm doing. So it's all cross-hatching, which is not my thing, not my strong suit. Takes a long time, and I didn't have a lot of time, and so I ended up doing sort of a shortcut where I did a lot of the cross-hatching by hand, but the last layer I overlaid a whole page of cross-hatching and then erased the highlights. Erased most everything except for the shadows, and it worked really well. Oh man, I worked on this girl's face. I drew 10 different faces before I finally got one that worked. I love it. Sam, yours turned out so darn cute.
The flowers are nice and I just like it.
It's good colors in this one, huh? So this is Ty and I drawing the scene from Menon. This is where they meet each other for the first time, and they fall in love at first sight. He instantly loves her and approaches her, and he's like, "I love you," and she says, "I love you too. Let's run away to Paris." Makes sense, right? Ty, why did you want to draw this one?
Because poofy dresses.
Right?
I like the poofy dresses.
Yeah, I mean, she could have like a herd of cats under there. You wouldn't know. There could be anything under there. Dragons.
A baby.
A baby. A bushel of lemons. A scale model of a steam train.
Or a whole TV.
A whole TV. That'd be good. That
So
you
they
could watch.
can watch shows with them.
I saw a video where somebody made one of those dresses, a cosplay of one of those dresses, and she had a built-in chair inside of the dress. So all she had to do was like kind of scooch backwards and she could sit on a chair, which is awesome because sitting in one of those dresses on a chair, like that's not inside all of the poofs, is really challenging. But having a chair inside the poof, you know, where you're not crushing the poof, I feel like that works out better. This guy ended up looking like George Washington. He's not George Washington. He is not George Washington, but he looks like George Washington. He's of the same time. So he's got, you know, the coat and the hair. He was based on this other guy. So I drew them and then you drew them based on my drawing. The headpiece, it's feathers. It's supposed to be feathers. I don't know if it looks like feathers in my drawing, but it's supposed to be feathers. What were you envisioning that as?
I don't know. I just kind of went based on the shape.
Yeah, the shapes. That's exactly what the shapes look like. But it's funny to me because when I first looked at it, I thought it looked like bunny ears.
Me too.
It was like, aw, she's a little bunny dress. The little bunny lady. How sweet. These guys, this is from the Pearl Fishers. The song that they're going to be singing in the show is these two friends who fell in love with the same girl, but neither one of them went for it because they didn't want to mess up their friendship. And they're singing a song about friendship, and gotta love friendship, right? So this is all done in Photoshop, and we've got the cross hatching. I did days of research before starting the drawings because there were 17 songs to figure out what they were about and when they were set and what they would have been wearing. And so I did a bunch of research and I've got my photos off to the side. I love the bright colors on that one. This is from The Merry Widow. So this guy is courting this lady. He's trying to get her attention, but she's married, and he writes on her fan that he's interested, but she's also kind of flirting with him the whole time. So this is the song. It's their song together where they're just being coy and flirty the whole time. This one I copied straight out of this other image, basically, except for her face in this image she's so meh. She's like, yeah, I cut off your hair, I guess. And the guy in the back is like, oh! He's like, oh, what is that face? I don't even know. So I made her look a little bit more like, yeah, I cut off your hair. And I got rid of, oh! I don't know what he was about. This one is The Ballad of Baby Doe. This is their wedding. This is actually based on a real person, so those pictures are actually her. Her husband owned silver mines, and in the song, she's singing about how silver is awesome because everybody's starting to mine for gold and devaluing silver, and she's at her wedding like, no, silver's where the dreams are. And then once I had all of the illustrations done, then I made this kind of book background and I popped all the illustrations in, and then I had to put text in. The director provided descriptions of each scene. So this will be when they edit the whole thing together. They'll have these images projected behind to, give the context, but also they've got the text that explains what's happening in the song and in the scene and in the show. So hopefully it'll help, and they're also going to use it in the edit when they edit all of the different scenes together with the page turning. So I animated the page turning for them. I'm gonna have to work on this some more. Needs a little more love, but here are all the illustrations for the production for Chapman Opera.